Alright, class. This is going to be the recording on the deliverables needed for the assignment that's going to be due on Monday. So, one of the first things we have to do is, of course, have the 3D model ready. And, of course, don't forget to include the snap settings on the left-hand side of the screen. On my own personal computer, I have the end, near, point, mid, intercept is really up to preference, perpendicular, and vertex. So make sure you have those on to actually be able to snap onto the model, because otherwise you'll be going behind it and everything. So first and foremost, how we're actually gonna make these deliverables. One of the first steps is actually excuse me. One of the first steps is actually to do it in rendered mode, because rendered is nice, easy, clean. The model is already starting to look made and like white model-ish, clean and everything. The next steps to actually make this look more and more and better graphically wise, and then start making it more refined, is actually starting to add shadows and adding some edges to it. So let's first turn those on before we start actually doing the view capture to file and saving these screenshots of it. So first and foremost, where we go. By default, Rhino has them on the right-hand side of the screen, this little TV screen on the right, and the toolbar. It's called display. If you don't have this, you can just type in display properties, and it should pop up. If you don't have it, it'll pop up in your screen on a different monitor, wherever you have it. But if you do have it on your toolbar on the right, it'll just open it up on the right. So I just popped it out the window. You can click and drag it out if you want to. To me, it makes it a little easier to see to what we're actually going to turn on. But the one we're going to be turning on right now is surface edges. So if I move it to the side and click the check mark right here, you're going to see immediately that the edges of the surface get bolder. So after we turn this on, we're going to have to want to tone this down a bit, because right now it's looking really harsh and looking a little like clay dolly on this view. So after we get to display settings, we turn this on, we can actually click on this button right here called Edit Rendered Settings. So if I click on that, it's going to open up another window. And from here, we're going to have to want to drop down on rendered view, because that's currently what we're on right now. We're in rendered view. And once we drop that down, we're going to want to mess with objects, because right now these are objects. So once we expand objects, we're going to mess with surfaces, because these are the surfaces of the objects. So once you click on surfaces, we're going to notice a variety of settings right here. We're going to notice color usage. We can change the color of these the lines. We can change the width of them, which is the one we're going to have to be messing with. Right now it's at 2. That's really, it's really bold. So if we change it to 1, you can immediately notice that it gets thinner, and it's already starting to look cleaner. My preference is typically 0.75, and you can see immediately it's already looking good. Let's try 0.1 and see what that looks like. You can barely tell. Well, notice the microphone wasn't capturing right now. So what I've shown the entire time within the video was actually changing the settings. Make sure you follow through with that. Just go back and then just follow what I was doing. I'll show you step by step, but showing you the fill pattern, how to actually change everything, the thickness of the actual the lines itself, how to change the fill volume to a different color, and the hex pattern if you want to match it. All right, well, that's unfortunate. Saying before with the actual elevations, go to that specific section or specific view, make the name views themselves so that you can just literally snap back to that specific view in case you want to edit that specific piece. So clicking that plus sign, making it, and saving it. Of course, you do it to all the deliverable pieces, not just these. So I was just messing with the clipping section, and since I was making it right now, I was just going to do view capture file, save it, and then of course we'll have all our deliverables. Interior, exterior, axos. I think that's all of them. We save them, and now that we saved all the views, let's say I did, I would go and combine all those images and put them onto one PDF. In my case, I don't have Adobe InDesign on my computer, so what should I use? I'll use Bluebeam. So if I open up Bluebeam, this is a program that you typically use within the field. Let me make sure I'm not really revealing anything. File, PDF. Make sure it's ArcC, so it'd be 18 by 24. 18 by 24. I'm just making a new one right here. 18 by 24. Where's their template for it? Yeah, there is Arcs. No, it's NCC. ArcC. Right here. It's blank for now. So, in InDesign, you just simply go to that file explorer. Go to where you downloaded everything. I put them in my box folder. Where did I place these? Or by date. So let me delete these. So I'll take these views. I won't do all at once, but drag them one by one. Oh, gosh. Why do you do this, Bluebeam? Don't save. Can I not just... If it was in design, you can just drag and drop it and then resize it. Doesn't look like I can with this. Control C, Control V. But you know what I'm saying? Once you drag and drop it into the specific InDesign folder or InDesign file, just organizing these to see how this seem fit. Wait, can I just open it and copy it? Where's copy? There's no copy here. Copy. Control V. Oh, just the black background. No. I'll just let Bluebeam and then copy it over. Control Tube. And then just resize them. Make them look good. And then you're going to submit this PDF with all of them in it. To me, of course. Elevations, boom. Of course, organize it correctly. Elevations, and then put your perspectives, and then put your axos. They seem fit. Of course, make sure it fits within the ArcC. It should fit, because that's a huge piece of paper. But make sure you put all of them in on a sheet of paper, save it, and then submit just the PDF and your 3D model. I should repeat some commands because my mic was not recording, unfortunately. All right. So commands we went through were the differences between clipping section and clipping plane. And just back to perspective. Show selected as well. Let's delete this. So if I duplicate this to the side, if I do clipping plane, and make one right here, it'll cut through everything within the actual project with no remorse. Whereas, let me delete this clipping plane, do clipping section. I need to select the one I only want to cut through. Place the clipping plane, press enter, and now it's only cutting through this one and not that one because I only specified that one. So clipping section is superior to clipping plane. And it makes a view for you already in your view capture file. So you can just open that up, hide this, and then view capture the file. So that is one way of doing it for the actual putting it into a sheet or putting it into saving all these as view capture files and putting this onto a separate sheet like Adobe InDesign. The other way to do it is doing it all within Rhino. Same way how we did the layouts for AutoCAD. If you click the plus sign and we do, remember, new layout, we can just make a sheet within Rhino. Size, ArcC, by default, portrait, inches, page, name this, just name it ArcC. And these are the detail count or the viewports similar to AutoCAD. Printers, I'm just gonna do Bluebeam and click OK. Well, now we have our sheet. And what's neat about this is, can I just drag and drop these? No, not yet. If I do, in Rhino, it's not called viewports, it's called detail. Yeah, detail. No, not detail. Detail. And then on the command tab, click add. We want a right perspective. This is like choosing it. And then once you click on right, you can make one. And it already makes one by default. You should be able to just drag and drop these perspectives in. Yeah, click into it. Yeah. Click into it. Of course, once you click into it, you're actually editing it right now. So let me change this to rendered. And from here, you can start getting your details corrected now. Let me delete that other one. And from here, you can duplicate this to the side, double click into it, make this the interior perspective. And the only rough thing about this one is you have to like edit them all. That's why I prefer like view capture to file, because you don't have to do all this extra work. Oh, double click out of it, click move to like make everything fit, and then adjust them live. I mean, that could be beneficial because it's editing live. So since these are like strict views, unless you move the model, because if you move it, these are gone now. So unless you don't move the model, this stays in its current position forever. These views are here like forever. And all you have to do is, since they're being updated live, is really just go back here and print it off once you've set everything up. So that is a benefit for using layouts within Rhino. But it's the same process. Make the detail item, duplicate this one, put the other perspective in here, duplicate this one to the side, put the axle in here, double click inside of it, put the axle in here. You have one. Duplicate this one, let's say right here, double click inside of it, top elevation, duplicate this down, 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 open this one, put the east elevation, etc., etc. And then this one, the section, maybe you want to make that a little bigger. It's like playing around with it, making them fit. Of course, if I want this to be the main focus point, do it like that. Playing around, and then just start filling up the sheet and everything. This is the layouts and everything. Once you set up the layout, Control P to print, gives you a little preview. Bluebeam PDF, Adobe PDF, whatever you have. Sometimes Rhino should be better. And black and white, print color, it's up to you. You can put a scale to it. Leave it 1:1 right now. And once you click print, of course, click OK. And saved it. There you go. It already does it. Of course, I didn't really organize it well, but you can just print it straight from Rhino like that. Organized in the viewports, you have to mess around with that to get it correct. But instead of having to go to Adobe and start like organizing everything, which I kind of think is a little better because you're going to be doing boards like that to print them exactly to size. All right. Let me go over those commands again. So we just went over the clipping section and clipping plane. The other one I was going to go through was, let me show, if you type in show, it'll show everything that you've hidden. Show selected. I don't have anything hidden right now, but it'll hide everything that's currently not hidden and show everything that's hidden in a separate view. And if you click on those individual items and press enter, it'll unhide them. So that's an advantage of using show selected. The other command I went through were, I think that was pretty much it. Clipping plane, clipping section, dolly zoom. Remember, dolly zoom is messing with the camera view and making these like warped in perspective and getting these exaggerated areas within your perspective to make everything look more massive within the scale. Of course, you can just do that within the lens length. You can just type that manually. Let's do 30. We'll do that. If I type in 10, we'll do that. So this is something you can mess with. Of course, the sun settings. And then, of course, the display properties. Turn on the surface edges, and we're messing with the clipping plane settings and how we, right now, it's not showing the clipping planes because we don't have any, because I deleted them, but you'll be able to change the fill pattern of them from not a blackish. Try to avoid doing a straight black in in general, because that's wasting ink for a true black, or try to avoid it as possible. So do like a little grayed out black, not too harsh. So that's one thing to note whenever you're changing the fill pattern. Oh, let's go to rendered. Like this, yeah. The edge thickness to 1 so that they're sharper and not rounded. So those are those settings. Of course, change the solid color. Okay. But that's generally everything for deliverables. I don't think I left anything out. Let me think. Change this to acrylic. Do depth face border. I think that's everything. This one is doing it for you guys, or doing it for you guys, up to you guys to finish and make these sheets. Either you're doing Rhino, making layouts, or just doing individual view capture files and putting them into Adobe InDesign and configuring the page to fit with all the deliverables. Other than that, see you guys Monday. And, well, good luck.